So I don't really study personally.
So it took me quite some time to get used to the content in class.
I feel like it was the right decision because it allowed me to explore a lot more views and stuff. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Harkun Champi. My nickname is Harkun. I am in PDS 67, EPTS 23, and I'm currently studying in the science math track.
Hello, my name is Santisuk Sangthong-suk. My nickname is Kang. I'm PDS 67 and I'm in EPTS 23. I study in the math science program.
What are the subjects you study in the science math?
So the compulsory subjects are briefly English for critical thinking, English for world knowledge, physics, chemistry, biology, additional maths, and maths. So basically, in the science and maths track, you are required to take physics, chemistry, and biology as 3 different subjects, and each subject you have to study for 3 periods each week.
So as for mathematics, we have a total of 6 periods, 3 main maths and then 3 additional maths.
How does the content differ between middle school and high school?
So the content is more deeper and complex in high school compared to middle school. For instance, in middle school, right, the science subject is actually seen as a more general subject where the content for physics, chemistry, and biology is divided into different semesters. But however, in high school, you are required to take physics, chemistry, and bio at the same time.
So as for like mathematics and stuff, okay, the first main or obvious difference is that it's split into additional and basic mathematics. Yeah, I feel like basic mathematics doesn't really differ much in terms of content, but it goes a lot more in depth, as well as additional maths, of course. And additional maths is like and a kind of like an extra difficulty level above that, which it takes a lot of time to get used to. But yeah, you do actually get used to it, and it's actually pretty fun.
I had decided to join this track because of my passion for science and due to the fact that I want to pursue medicine. So it was required for me to take this particular field.
At first I was kind of more so inclined towards more of the arts. I was really into music and language and stuff, so I actually wanted to go into like the language arts program, but then my mom was like, no, you have to go in the science program, which now with hindsight I feel like it was the right decision because it allowed me to explore a lot more views and stuff. Yeah.
So I had joined Patumwan Demonstration School in M4. So initially I had a hard time to adjust to the environment and the studies. So it took me quite some time to get used to the content in class. I had to ask my friends a bit for help, and it took me quite a few months to get used to the studies.
There was a large kind of difficulty gap between the two, and it was kind of like I was really shocked to start learning in my high school period, and yeah, it took a lot of of getting used to get over that initial shock.
Are there any project assignments?
Yes, there are project assignments. For example, we during the time period of M5 till M6 term 1, we are required to research and choose a specific scientific topic and do experiments regarding it throughout the 3 semesters, and then at the end of each semester, we are required to submit a lab report.
So in the science project, other groups are probably more going to be biology focused than my group. My group is actually doing this kind of sound experiment where we're testing properties of an ultrasonic sound kind of laser stuff, which is pretty cool because sound actually dissipates when I digress.
What university majors and careers can you pursue after graduating from the science math?
So After graduating from the science and maths track, you have the freedom to choose and apply to any university or any major you wish to. The advantage of the science and math program is that you have a wider range of subjects. So that means that you have a wider range of faculties where you can apply to compare to the other programs.
If you are studying in the science and math program, is it possible to continue your studies majoring in arts, languages, or?
Definitely. I think aside from actual science-related information that you gain in the science program, you also gain this kind of logical way of thinking, which can be applied to really all types of learning, and not just learning, but also working as well. And I feel like being in the science program is really beneficial to that, and can be expanded on into whether it would be art majors or any majors for that matter, really.
If your grades aren't satisfactory, what should you do? Are there any methods you recommend to improve grades?
The first thing I would do if my grades are not satisfactory is that I would not dwell upon it a lot, because it can be really physically and mentally draining. The next thing I do is that I come up with a fixed schedule on what I should do to improve my grades. For example, at school, I would pay full attention to what the teacher is saying and ask any questions if I have any doubts. And when I come back home, I will revise the content that was covered in class to have a deeper understanding.
First of all, if you get a bad grade, you shouldn't really dwell on it for time. You should kind of see it as more of oh, there's something I need to fix, and actually examine yourself on what you need to fix, and try to go forward and not kind of be just don't dwell on it for a long time. Yeah, and as for the things, so I don't really study personally. I mainly just try to pay attention in class more often, and read the notes from there, as despite what many people say, actually paying attention and studying in class is probably the best way I can say in learning and preparing for a final exam or any quiz for that matter.
How do you organize your study schedule and manage your time before exams?
So I have a calendar which I use during the semester and also before exams. So I will come up with a fixed schedule with certain tasks that I have to finish in each day. So in each day, I would recommend to revise at least 2 to 3 subjects to have a more productive day, and it will not be too much to revise. So it's the most effective method that I do before the exams.
I feel like the most effective way, at least for me, is kind of preparing a week in advance. I mean, that's probably gonna be enough of a time period for you to actually, not only study the materials you've missed, but also revise the topics you already know or already are accustomed to. And also enough time for you to get some practice tests in and do some worksheets. Yeah, that's basically how I do it.
How do you motivate yourself to study, and what are your studying techniques?
I motivate myself by reminding myself of my goals and what I must do to achieve them. The most effective studying technique that I use is the Pomodoro technique, where I study for 25 minutes and have a 5-minute break in between each study interval. So I feel that it's very effective for me, as I'm a person who needs a break to refresh my mind before studying.
I motivate myself by mainly just thinking of the trips I'm going to be going to after the test, or after after any upcoming quiz that's going to happen, or the things I can do after. And I find it really effective, to just kind of think of the good times. It's the final stretch, just a bit of time, and we can be on our merry way and stuff. Yeah. And as for studying techniques, I feel like studying techniques don't really work. My only technique is probably just take your time and don't rush it. sometimes if you kind of rush and if you try to apply others' techniques, maybe you gloss over something you might miss, or it's not really fitted it's not really fitted towards your learning or studying style. So I feel like taking the time to not only study but also get to know your studying style is probably the best studying technique.
How are you preparing for university entrance?
As I want to pursue the medical field, my goal is to enter using the portfolio round. So the things I need to achieve before October is that I need to have a good portfolio, I need to have a good IELTS score, good grades. I am currently working on my portfolio. So some of the activities that I have is that I have been a part of the student council for 2 consecutive years. I am currently the president of the Medical Research Student Association, and I have been to a few competitions. So some of the tips I suggest is that is to study for 2 to 3 hours a day and keep reviewing all the content needed for the exam. So I'm currently preparing for the entrance exams such as TBAT, MCAT, UCAT, and CUAT. So here are some tips that I would recommend. So during this period, I study for at least 3 to 4 hours a day, and I revise all of the topics needed for the exam. And I give myself some breaks in between when I feel physically and mentally exhausted.
You first have to kind of study up on, what your university or kind of major of choice is looking for in a candidate. Not only grades-wise, but also kind of the personality, the social aspect of the university, because you're gonna also have interviews. And I recommend going in the first plan or the portfolio plan because it's probably it's probably the least stress or the least stressful out of all 4 steps. And I feel like just trying to maximize your scores for the portfolio thing, and also participate in activities where you can or when you can. So the 2 most important scores, or the scores required by virtually every university in Bangkok or in Thailand right now is for engineering courses are the digital SATs and the IELTS. So as for the SATs, you probably want to aim for around 1,350 to 1,450. That would be pretty safe, to get into most universities, including Chula, of course. As for IELTS, probably around a band 7 or above is the safe range or a range to be kind of competitive with others. And as for extra scores, I guess there's also the ACTs, where you mainly need 2 sections for most universities, the kind of science section and the math section. For science section, you need around a 32 to 36, and that as well goes for the math section, so around full score.
For those who are starting high school soon, please choose the program that you're actually interested in and have passion for to prevent any regrets in the future. For those who still aren't really sure about what they should select, you still have time to explore your interests through activities, or you can always just ask the seniors for any suggestions.
I feel like a lot of people, stress about, what program am I going to go in? What am I going to study after this? Is it going to be hard? But I feel like either choose the safest option, or if you already kind of have a clear idea in your head, go with the most fun option. So I didn't really have a clear idea in my head, so I went with the safest option, really, which is the science program. And I feel like it gave me a lot of things, and it gave me a lot of advantages, which that set it apart from the other programs. And I feel like just have fun with it and I guess coming from a senior, good luck. I guess it's gonna be hard, but yeah, it's still gonna be really enjoyable, and especially with the smaller class sizes, you get a lot more close and intimate friends. So it's gonna be stressful but really fun.
Good luck to you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.